All right, we are back today with our last type of graph that we're going to cover, and that's called a line plot. We're going to spend some time tomorrow reviewing before we take our test on Friday. So on Monday, we covered bar graphs. Those were the rectangular bars, either going vertical or horizontal. Yesterday, we looked at the picture graphs, which those were the pictures that told us how many people or items there were of that. And today we're going to look at a line plot. So let's look at a couple examples of what a line plot is. So this is what a line plot looks like. It actually uses our number line down here, and it tells us the number of times that something happens. They call that the frequency that something happens. So like in this one, it tells us the number of candy bars. This one tells us the amount of time spent surfing the internet. So we can kind of look at these and get an idea of what we're going to be looking at. Here's an example of one that we're going to create. Again, on your assignment today and on your test, you're not going to be asked to create one. I just want you to see how they got to this point of creating the line graph. So this is, or the line plot, excuse me. So this is our number line, and if you see, they have the numbers written down here: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And what they're doing is they are telling the lengths of the feathers. So if I take a look down here, these numbers aren't the number of feathers. This is the number in centimeters that the feathers measure. Okay, so I'm going to fill that in down here. It was kind of already dotted in. So that tells me the number of centimeters. Here's my chart, and it says they measured these feathers, all of these feathers, and got these different lengths. So what they do is they go through and they put a mark, and on this one they put circles. Most line plots will use X's. Some do use circles, so either is fine. So they went through and did the 4s. So there's 1, 2, 3 4s. That means they used 1, 2, 3 circles. Now they went through and did the 5s. There's 1, 2, 2 5s. So that means 5 gets 2 circles. On 6s, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6s. So that means I come to number 6. And there are 5 feathers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feathers that were 6 centimeters long. 7, 1, 2, 3. So 3 feathers were 7 centimeters long. There's 2 8s, that looks like, and then a 9 left over here, and 1 9. So if I take a look at this line plot, what this line plot is telling me is that there were 3 feathers that were 4 centimeters long. There were 2 feathers that were 5 centimeters long. There were 5 feathers that were 6 centimeters long. 3 feathers that were 7 centimeters, 2 feathers that were 8, and 1 feather that was 9 centimeters long. So that's how they create these graphs. They take their data and they switch it over to a line plot. A line plot is very helpful to make when you use the same numbers over and over again. All right, so let's take a look here at this line plot graph. This is hours spent watching TV, something I'm sure we can all relate to right now since it got cold outside. It's not very fun to be outside playing. So we do spend a lot of time watching TV. So notice down here, these numbers tell me the number of hours. So I'm looking at the number of hours across the bottom, and these are the people that spent that much time watching TV. So my question said, how many kids spend 3 hours watching TV? So I'm going to come to the number 3 hours, and it looks like there's only 1 child there on 3 hours. So the answer to how many kids watch 3 hours of TV would just be 1. 1 kid watches 3 hours of TV. Let's look at another question here and do a little practice. All right. How many kids spend 9 hours watching TV? So let's do the same thing. Go to the 9. So you have 9 hours. 9 hours. Count the number of X's that you have up there. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 kids that spend 9 hours watching TV. So the answer to how many kids spend 9 hours watching TV? Well, that would be 3. All right, let's see if we can get a little more complicated. How many hours did the most kids spend watching TV? So we're going to take a look and see which one has the most kids on it. Now remember, these X's are all of our kids that are watching TV. So this one had 4, 2, 3, 1, none. Look at that one. That one's pretty tall. There's 7, 2, 1, 3, 3, and this one had 5. So which one was the tallest? This one right here. So the most kids spend about 5 hours watching TV. That's the one that had the most kids marked on it. Okay, make sure you understand that. Each of these X's are kids. This one had the most kids. These are my hours. Okay, the least number of hours on here is 0. The most number of hours is 10. My question said the most kids, so that's why I used my X's. All right? Let's take a look at another question. How many students spend 8 or more hours watching TV? So here's my 8. It says 8 or more. So I need not only 8, but I'm going to have to do more than 8 is 9, more than 9 is 10. All 3 of these together are going to answer my question. Spend 8 hours or more watching TV. So let's see. 1, 2, 3 kids here. 1, 2, 3 kids here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kids here. So to find out how many kids spend 8 or more hours watching TV, what I would need to do is add these numbers up. So 3 plus 3 is going to be 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. So there are 11 kids that spend 8 or more hours a day watching TV. Okay, this line plot is going to be like the other, like the picture graph and the bar graph, that if I want to know how many kids that I'm talking about and all I do is I count up my X's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So we have 31 kids total on this line plot. 11 of them watch 8 or more hours of TV. Okay? All right, so let's change our line plot up a bit, and let's look at a little bit different one here. This line plot is going to talk about candy bars. So my X's, again, are going to be the number of students that came up with this answer. And then across the bottom are my number of candy bars. So again, if I want to know how many students answered this question, I would just count my X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 kids answered this question for me of how many candy bars did they eat. So I'm going to be able to look at my line plot and see how many candy bars each student ate. So let's take a look at question 1. How many students ate 6 candy bars? So again, I'm going to find my number on the bottom, find my 6 candy bars, but my number, there's the number 6. And how many students is on it? 1, 2. 2 students ate 6 candy bars, right? Now I'm going to take a look at my next question. How many candy bars did 3 students eat? Pay close attention to that question. 3 students. Remember, these X's are my students. So I'm looking for 3 X's that are together. Well, there's only one there, one there, one there. Oh, there's 3 here. 4 here, 2 here, 1 here, 2 here. So this one has 3 students together, and it happens to be the number 3. 3 students ate 3 candy bars. Those happen to be the same number. They always won't be the same. So don't be tricked there. All right. How about this question? What is the least amount of candy bars a student ate? Now, here's where I don't want you to get confused. I understand that 4 has nothing on it. So that means the least amount of kids did number 4. But that's not my question. What is the least amount of candy bars? Remember, my candy bars are across the bottom. So my least number of candy bars is over here to the left. We had one child eat 0 candy bars. So 0 is my least number. And my next part of the question, what is the most amount of candy bars a student had? 8. Again, here are my candy bars. Least is over here. That means follow my number line. The most is over here. The most a child ate was 8 candy bars. 2 kids ate 8 of them. Oh goodness, I hope they were the minis or they're going to have quite the tummy ache. Right? And let's look at this question now. How many students ate 5 or more candy bars? Listen to the question again. How many students ate 5 or more candy bars? So I'm talking about the candy bar number down here. 5 or more. So let's think about this. Here's my 5. Is 4 more? No, it's less. So I got to go this way. Is 6 more? Yes. Is 7 more? Yes. Is 8 more? Yes. All of this is 5 or more. So I have to count all the X's that are over here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. 1, 2 on 6. 1 kid on 7. 2 kids on 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. 1 more makes 7. And 8, 9 for my answer. 9 children ate 5 or more candy bars. Okay. All right, now it's time for you to practice some of these line plots. If you're having a hard time with them, please reach out to your teacher, let her know. Remember, most of your assignments have 2 submissions. This one does as well. If you really struggle with something, look at your answers, see what you missed, go back and redo your assignment for a better score. It's important that you understand these 3 different types of graphs. We're going to review it tomorrow before we begin our test on Friday. Okay? If you have any questions, let us know, and I'll see you tomorrow for our review. Have a good evening.